Big up, everybody. Welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Welcome to an unscheduled emergency show. Well, let me tell you a story, Connor. I woke up this morning, and the first thing I see, is Kai Havertz out, with an injury to his hamstring, I'm telling you, Connor. I'm telling you, man. I never rated him to begin with, right? I just want to say this. I've never rated him to begin with, but he was a body. He breathed. He breathed in oxygen. He expelled carbon dioxide, and he was a tall individual in the box.
He took 300 grand of our money every week.
Yeah, and he will continue to do that, but he will now continue to do that from the medical table.
Yeah.
But we didn't need a striker, Connor.
No.
You knew that, right? We didn't need one. We were all set. Everybody was happy clapping. Everybody was happy clapping. That saying, we don't need a striker. We got Kai. It's fine. We got Sterling to back him up. Trossard can slot in there. Martinelli can slot in there. Well, it doesn't help if they're all injured.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I know you and I are going to get into it, but like, could we not see this coming? I'm sorry, could we not see this coming?
We could. Big up to everyone first and foremost. I'm kind of trying to figure out my light as it keeps turning off, so I do apologize about that.
Yeah, and hit the like, subscribe if you're new. Everybody and their mother is live right now.
Whilst that's very true. You do that. Do like and do subscribe. Whilst we were hitting the countdown, I was watching Husam's mental breakdown.
Oh no! I was gonna see if you wanted to watch that real quick.
I just sent it to you. If you downloaded it, I just sent it into the group.
No, here I got it already queued up.
It's monumental breakdown. They tell about Arsenal fans about having go at referees. Well, stay humble, eh? Stay humble.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna watch. I was gonna ask if you wanted to watch this. So yeah.
Let's go. Let's make our evening a little bit better.
Michael Oliver, your mom is a whore. Your mom is a whore. She should have swallowed that night because she gave birth to a prick like you. ابن الشرموطة يلعن أبوك.
It's peak when you speak in Arabic.
As per usual, foul on Beto there, and it's not. The referee should have blown fucking 5 minutes before. Michael Oliver, the prick. Your mom's a whore, you fucking bitch. Someone punch him in the face right now. Your mother is a prostitute. Absolute twat.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, monumental, man. Oh, let's see Sard's one. Let's see Sard's one.
Oh my God! What a goal! Yeah! Hold that, Liverpool, you pussy-os! Hold that, you pussy-os! Suck your mums! Suck your mums, man! Hold that! Hold
that! Come on!
Bro!
Oh my God!
Very good. Very, very good. Very,
very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, no, we can laugh all we want because Ahmed, if we don't laugh, we're gonna cry, bro. What? How is your striker situation going over there at Chelsea? How's that going? How's Nicholas Jackson working out for you? I heard that he was the striker to carry you into the future, per Marshall. Where are you at now?
Yeah.
Where are you guys at now?
Oh yeah,
Ahmed, hold that, my friend. Hold that.
Might I say, by the way, the American Waffle, technically first episode on your channel, obviously 63rd episode in general, fantastic. Veta is the biggest fucking gaslighter I've ever seen in my life. For him to come out and say who's progressed Palmer more, saying that Chelsea hadn't, like, this guy, man, he's the whole when the American Waffle were actually together and on time together is actually a very good time. It's a very
this was like I felt bad because like I just threw Flawless into that show, and I don't think he was necessarily prepared for it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So when everybody gets in there and they're just at each other's throats, it just kicked off. Like, and you could tell everybody. And big up Will for the raid. Big up the Carnage raid. Make sure you guys smash the likes, Subscribe if you are, in fact, new. Will is an absolute fraud, but he is my American Waffle brother. And, you know, Real Madrid can hold that, to be honest. Real Madrid can hold that. No, but yeah, no, I was talking about it with the guys afterwards. I'm like, you could tell we hadn't streamed together in 3 weeks because we were literally we just hated each other.
Yeah.
Like it was like 3 months or 3 weeks of just bottled up steam, just boom.
Yeah.
So, it was a great show, and thank you for your work on that because we were able to get the
make a bigger panel next time because I saw you trying to squeeze Will and Jacob onto the screen as well.
Dude, they were like late additions, so I did kind of figure out the layout, but it overdid the.
We'll figure out an 8 layout as well when they come on as well. But
yeah,
listen, overall, listen more onto the call of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, it's not a part of me. Listen, we've been very unlucky this season in terms of injuries. You know, players that haven't been injured before have become injured this season, like really badly. As much as like we say, like we don't like Kai Havertz, and listen, I preferably don't want Kai Havertz to be a part of this, you know, Arsenal squad. I'd rather improve on him. But at the end of the day, like you said, TJ, he is a body. You know, he is a player that we are going to need. You know, as much as we hate to admit it, even though he probably won't offer us a lot, it is a player we need to have instead of an academy graduate who has barely seen first team football. You know, to replace him. You know, it's a worry, and the fact that we've currently got a forward line of Raheem Sterling, Leandro Trossard, and Ethan Nwaneri, you know, it doesn't give me much hope. Listen, I love Nwaneri. He's doing fantastic things at the moment. I love Trossard. He is really there when we do need him. So fingers crossed he doesn't get injured and steps up to the plate in these next God knows how many months without, you know, a decent striker, even though we haven't had a decent striker for a while at this club. You know, I mean, an actual number 9, really. But then again, Havertz is a 9, so fucking hell, you know, so it's crazy. But and then we're left with Shillings on the left, which offers us absolutely nothing. And honestly, I think we're going to have to look at some other options, whether we play Skelly on the left or because we can't go a month and a half with this guy up front because it's just a waste of time. You know, he is going to offer us absolutely nothing. And this is worrying, TJ. And at the end of the day, the scrub that signed him is jollied off. He's off now. He's going to Forest, wherever he's going to end up in Brazil or wherever. And he's left us with this absolute tool. You know, he's that tool in the toolbox that you never touch, you never use, because we don't need him. I'd rather use, talking about academy graduates, I generally think an academy graduate would be more useful than him. You know, it's worrying, TJ. It is worrying. And, you know, people are talking about, you know, Calafiori possibly at left wing because he says that he's more of an attacking player than the defensive one. So, you know,
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Tierney over there either.
Yeah, even so. See, we've played him there before this season as a sub. Maybe we might see Tierney on the left at some point, you know. So, listen, it's worrying, TJ. And the problem is, this is what happens, unfortunately. Listen, it is partly down to being unlucky. You know, 4 of our major attackers are injured. You know, that doesn't just happen. But you've also got to put it down to the fact that we have reinforced more in the defense than the attack. Don't get me wrong, we needed to reinforce in the defense. Our defense, I'm really happy with our defense at the moment. I don't have too many questions about it. Maybe possibly to sell on top players like Tomiyasu and Zinchenko and upgrade on them. But in terms of our starting backline at the moment with Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, when Ben White comes back, that'll be a boost as well. I'm happy. But the front line, TJ, we've had a problem with for ages. And having a consistent front three. We've constantly had to switch, you know, putting Martinelli in for Trossard, swapping that around, you know, not having a backup to Saka, then having to rotate Havertz and Jesus because Havertz isn't scoring, so putting in Jesus, you know, we've had a problem.
Yeah, and we were seeing that. We're not to interrupt you, but we were seeing that based off of form now, and now we have 0 options. Like this is our front 3 through the rest, except for Chelsea when Sterling can't play. It's going to be a very, very interesting lineup, and you know for a fact that this manager will not switch up any tactics whatsoever.
Nope.
We will play the 4-2-3-1, the same shit we play all the time, and we're gonna get cooked, or some sort of 4-3-3, and we're gonna just get blunted on the attack. Like Trossard is awful at starting games. Like it takes him a while to really grow into games. Off the bench, he's great, but when he starts, he's mediocre. And if I were to make a prediction, he's going to be our number 9. He is going to be the guy 100%. Who plays through the middle, 100%. And then we're going to have Nwaneri on the right, and Shillings on the left. And I'm just it scares me. It scares me to death because before we at least had rotational options and some sort of hope that maybe we'll hit a number and somebody will have a good day. But now we're just up against the wall. Now we have no options, and big up Manch every single time. No, I'm it's just so frustrating, Connor, because we talked about this we've been talking about this for the last 2 years about how we need a backup right winger, how we need a serious number 9, how we need a backup, even a backup left winger in some cases, because we like being versatile so much that we can play Martinelli on the right or Trossard on the right or vice versa. But it's just frustrating because it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. Yeah. If we wanted to pay the money, the serious money for Ollie Watkins, drop $60 million on the table if Aston Villa was serious about that, then we could have done this, and we're not having this conversation.
And our numbers were low then anyway.
We're like, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, and when we were going in from anyway, we already lost one striker, so we were already one behind. You know, and listen, I have been honest and truthful and said, you know, were we going in for a body for the sake of it? Yeah, probably. But now you look at it in this situation, we didn't know that Havertz was going to get injured for the rest of the season. We didn't know that at the time. But you do look at it now, and you know we left that window. And as much as I was on the side of, was I disappointed we didn't sign Watkins? Yes and no. Yes, because I think we needed a number 9 that could score consistent goals. But also, would have him being signed to the club mean we couldn't go for an Isak or Gyökeres in the summer? Yes, I think that would have held us back a lot from an actual long-term striker in the summer. So that's why I was a bit torn. But looking at it now, in the situation of, you know, in reality, we've now got no striker. It was a bit of a mistake to not even try go for someone. You know, the fact that we were, you know, it's not like Jesus was back next month. He's out until Christmas. You know, he's gone until winter this year. Yeah. It's already in winter now. He's got to go back next winter. You know, that's how long he's going to be out. So we knew that we would be screwed if Havertz were to get injured. And looking at it now, as much as I, you know, if we did have Watkins, it would have probably stopped us from buying another 9 in the summer, because I really do want Isak. You know, he's top of my list, or maybe Gyökeres. But looking at it now, we really should have gone for him. You know, we really should have paid that extra 20 mil that I think Aston Villa were asking for. You know, look at the signings that they brought. I mean, look at the loans that they brought in. They were clearly possibly ready to accept a deal for Watkins. Look at the business they've done at the end of the window, bringing in 3 different players. You know, even though they are loans, it's still bringing in players for the end of the season for them to go in the summer with their money for Watkins and Duran, which is about 150 million, more than that, to go for another striker. You know,
and they're going to be big, and they're going to be big players. They're going to be in Europe again. We don't know whether it's going to be Champions League or Europa, but they're going to be. They're going to go in there and they're going to compete. And if you're a player and you're looking at, you know, the Arsenal Arteta project versus what Emery's doing there over at Aston Villa, I mean, they're on the same level as we are. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, Aston Villa, in terms of competitiveness and trophies, and you put us side by side, they're in the same league as us. Like, Aston Villa and that manager they have over there. Like, granted, I didn't rate him when he was Arsenal's manager. When he was our manager, I thought, meh. When he was sacked, I really didn't give a shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what he's done since needs to be studied and needs to be looked up to seriously from an Arsenal perspective.
They got to top 4 quicker than we did.
Yeah,
could you say a better side than Arsenal's when Arteta took over? I don't know.
No, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, look, like, we are going to be in the market, and we're going to need to pay top dollar to bring in players that are actually get us over the line and get us moving again. Like, and that's my biggest problem is that, especially now that we're definitely not winning any trophies, we're definitely not winning the league. It's a harder sell for Arsenal at this point. So are you winning the league? No, we're not winning the league. Like, this is the thing.
When we just ever said that we were going to win the league? I said at the start.
And I know Warriors taking the piss here. I'm pretty sure Warriors fucking with me, but it's one of those things where we've been saying we've been out of the league race since October. Like, the writing's on the wall, and it really doesn't matter.
I said it as soon as deadline day was over and we signed Raheem Sterling, I knew we weren't going to win anything this season.
Yeah, no, and regardless of the Merseyside Derby results, like, we're gonna drop points.
Yes.
And I fully expect us to win this weekend. Don't get me wrong, but we still have the Liverpool return fixture.
Mm-hmm.
We have United.
Towards the end of the season, which is going to be even bigger because then that it depends on how close it is. That's going to be, and it's oh God forbid,
United, Chelsea. And these are teams that we regularly beat. I'm not even talking about the mid-table clubs that we could have our number.
People, TJ. So, do you know? I haven't even read Twitter yet because actually currently I'm staying off Twitter because I'm looking to see the new Captain America this weekend. I'm waiting because spoilers are all over Twitter, so I'm kind of like trying to stay away from it. But I guarantee you, Arsenal fans are losing their top Reds are losing their heads over this draw and saying, this is our chance. So many people put down, and whenever I have conversations with people about, looking ahead of the season, they look at Liverpool's games and they say they could drop points there. They could look at the fixture list there. They could drop points between them. It's all well and good Liverpool dropping points, but you're acting like Arsenal are going to win every single game to catch up with them. You've got to remember. I call
that Tony Claude syndrome. But
exactly. Like we could well say if we had Liverpool next week, we could go ahead and maybe beat them 2-1. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would put us 6 points, or how many points is 5 points behind them. But then we could go ahead and play Ipswich the week after, and knowing Arsenal, we could drop points. So it's all well and good, counting how many fixtures Liverpool could lose. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get myself excited unless Arsenal actually stay consistent and manage to top them in the next couple of weeks. So that's just the way it is. And, seeing today, although it is the last Goodison Park Merseyside derby, Liverpool can lose games. I'm not putting this Liverpool team, on the same standard as the Man City teams that have won the last couple of seasons where they've just been unstoppable. No one can beat them. This Liverpool side can be beaten. They're fantastic, don't get me wrong, but they can be beaten. So now it's all in Liverpool's hands, in my opinion. It's not in Arsenal's. Arsenal can just do what they want to do in it. If they want to win games, they win games. But we're too inconsistent anyway to win a league title. The only way we can win this league is if Liverpool have the biggest stinker possible second half of the season and manage to completely fall apart, which I don't think they can do. But I do think they are possible to drop more points this season. Not a lot, but I think they can drop some points. Are Arsenal going to capitalise? No, I don't think they are. I'm now actually predicting us to finish below Forest now because of this massive hit. You've got to realise now this front three will be playing week in, week out. Don't forget when we're playing knockout rounds in the Champions League as well. God forbid.
That's 2 additional fixtures there, yeah.
And it is kind of a blessing now that we have been knocked out of the FA Cup now, because God forbid if we were still in that, FA Cup games every weekend rotating. International break as well. Some of these players, Trossard will be going to Belgium. Nwaneri will probably be playing with the under 21s with England, maybe with the call up with how he's been playing. I mean, Sterling can go fuck off on his sofa for the whole international break. He ain't going nowhere.
He will, don't worry. And then you got Declan Rice going away for England. I'm
exactly. These players who are, especially the front line, they're not going to be rotated until Martinelli comes back, who's the closest to being returning.
These Saliba, Gabriel, all of them will be recalled.
They're going to be shattered. They're going to be absolutely knackered. Sterling hasn't played consistent football in God knows how long. Maybe I'd want to say about 1.5 years, 2 years coming up. Trossard, he's irregular for us. And Nwaneri is just getting into the swing of things as a 17-year-old into the Premier League. So it's worrying. That's another thing. Newly promoted graduate Nwaneri, as an Arsenal fan myself, I wanted to see graduates come through. I'm happy he has. Same with Lewis Skelly. But 90 minutes every week, 75? That's worrying for a young player. Look at what happened to Saka over time. How worse his injuries have got. So fingers crossed nothing happens to Nwaneri. But, it's worrying, TJ. And honestly, I said it. What I said was in a statement earlier that I put in the Gooner Lounge and other group chats. I said, one, I don't want to rush Saka back because I think that's just going to be useless. There's no point. Let him recover.
I might as well just shut him down for the season.
Well,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so I just say leave Saka alone, let him recover, let him take his time with it. But all I'm just expecting of this season now is just play our game, play football. If we win or lose, I don't care. We weren't going to win anything anyway. We weren't, even with our fully fit squad, we weren't going to win the Premier League, in my opinion, unless Liverpool have an absolute stinker. And we were never going to win the Champions League either with our level of quality in our team compared to other teams like Bayern and Madrid and even Liverpool's side as well in a two-legged game. Come on now. So in that sense, I've just said, play our game. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. If we draw, we draw. But just shit house it out and finish second or third come the end of the season, and we go again next season. So
we go again.
That's it, really. This Havertz blow, believe it or not, has actually taken a massive wind out of me. and I never would have thought that, you know.
Yeah.
But hey,
let's go through this. Let's go ahead and go through it. Yeah, we still have to go through Forest and Everton away. Yeah, we have difficult fixtures. It's what happens. And if you look at
it's so funny looking at your games compared to when we play, because obviously 12 o'clock's 9 a.m. your time and 12:30. You're like,
6:30. 6:30 is gonna suck.
Get up early. Like Forest is like, and Man United, like your decent games are in Fulham as well. Jesus,
dude, yeah, it's Valentine's Day too, so I got to spend time with the lady. I'm gonna tell the wifey I got to be in bed by 9 because I got to get up at 6. No, but what I wanted to do is just look at this schedule. I mean, Leicester City we should be able to beat, but they gave Man United a game. They can give us a game, especially with our lack of attack. West Ham at home, that's not a given.
Can't forget Spurs as well, TJ. Spurs Leicester, they beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
Leicester beat Spurs, didn't they? So hey.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest away. We will lose that game.
That's not going to be
Man United away, always difficult. Doesn't matter what form they're on. We always end up squeaking by at Old Trafford if we squeak by at all. Arsenal at home to Chelsea. We won't have Raheem Sterling. What does our front three even look like? Arsenal at home to Fulham. We lost to Fulham last year, or drew to them with 10 men. Everton away, always difficult for us. They're always a bogey team for us. I believe we lost 1-0 away to them last season.
Yeah.
Brentford away.
Yeah, they're still a tricky team. Maybe at home we've got a bit of an advantage because they're away records. But but look at that, TJ. Look, you've already listed out 6 games with possible
where I think we could drop points.
Exactly. Yeah. And not even with our best attacking line, TJ. It's crazy. You know?
No. Yeah,
and people exactly think after Liverpool drop a point that we're going to all of a sudden, pick up the pace. I think we are going to
pick up the pace with who? You know what I mean? That's what I'm asking.
I guarantee you this: on Saturday morning, I know we play shit normally and boring, but TJ, this is going to be shit. Like this is going to be shit. Like, listen, I love Wanyeri, I love Trossard, I hate Sterling, but that front line, it's gonna be shit. Like, I've got to keep it honest and real. Like, and God forbid, I mean, we don't even know if that's going to be our front line. We don't know what Arteta's mind's up to. We don't even know.
Yeah, people on Twitter were throwing around Marino in a false 9.
I saw that, and whoever put that out deserves to just not even watch football because, like, Jesus, you want him as a false 9? Really? Are you taking the piss? Like, Jesus. So, yeah, man.
And who's the kid that we've been carrying around?
Butler or Deji?
Butler or Deji? Yeah, I mean, and Troops was talking about this on his channel, and people were trying to prop him, saying put him in the 9. But I mean, I agree with what Troops was saying though. People don't understand the change in difficulty from playing under 21s, under 23s to Premier League. I mean, it's night and day. So people that are saying that are just it's hopium. It's hopium and copium at this point, my guy. It's hopium and copium.
You can't just whack him in and expect him to be instantly good. Like, listen, I would love him to come off the bench 60th minute in these games. Seriously, I would, because that would build his confidence. And maybe, I mean, God forbid, Trossard gets injured. Maybe he goes in, but that means he's got some games under his belt. Maybe he's a bit more used to the intensity of the Premier League and possibly the Champions League as well whenever we play a round of 16 game. I would like to see him rotated. He got a shitty little 2-minute spell against whoever it was a couple of weeks ago, but that's classic Arteta for you, isn't it? But he's 22. He's moderately getting on now. I would like to see him not start, but maybe every 70th minute in a game, 75th, get him on, get him some minutes. Maybe even against Leicester, if things aren't going our way in the first 45, maybe bring him on in the second 45. But don't just whack him into the deep end expecting this, this Alan Shearer, i.e. English level of player, because it obviously is English, to come out and shine. That's not going to happen, But it is. I mean, I'm even seeing people fucking saying earlier that we should have kept the guy that Chidi Obo, was that his name, that we sold to Man United, the 15-year-old or 14-year-old. Like, fuck, do me a favor. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation if we didn't sign a serious 9 in the summer. Instead, we signed the 3rd best player at Sociedad, a cup-tied shitty Brazilian goalkeeper, Raheem Shillings, and Calafiori. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to let off Calafiori because I think he's
Hey, respect Tommy Setford. Don't forget Tommy Setford.
He's got aura. He's got aura. So, and Tommy Setford as well. Of course, Tommy Setford. Can't forget about him. So look at what the window was, and we had this absolute motherfucker of a guy sit there with his scouts and his team, eating pizza, celebrating Raheem Sterling. And I'm actually going to get the clip after the stream and make you save it on your media thing of when he said Sterling wasn't planned. Sterling wasn't an idea, but we got him anyway because we couldn't sign who we actually wanted. Like, TJ, this is what happens when you don't prepare properly. It's as simple as that. Realistically, we didn't actually
big
need
up Aaron.
Marino. Big up Arsenal X-rated, man.
Arsenal X-rated legend.
Real one, man. Real one. We didn't need Marino. Really think about it. I mean, look at him now. He's shit. I mean, the fact that I don't know if it was you that told me or it's like Sard or something. I think Sard told me. When Marino was part of the plan, we signed Marino first, then we signed Zubimendi. Like, load of bullshit. Like, come on, man. If the scouts really looked at Marino and said, that's the guy, do me a favor. We didn't really need Marino. We had Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard in the midfield. We could, if we wanted to adapt.
Jorginho.
If we wanted to adapt, we could have put also Lewis Skelly in there, maybe, because he is also a midfielder.
Could have held on to Smith Rowe.
Or we could have even put, or God forbid, we actually tried putting Zinchenko in there once. We had options. It wasn't limited. We were limited up front. But we went ahead and paid money for Mikel Merino, Neto on a loan deal, Sterling on a loan deal. Like, what? What's going on? I let off Calafiori because as much as he hasn't been fantastic defensively, I think there is something in Calafiori that may, not because of he's got aura, not because of all that, not because of that. I generally do think there is a player there that could be discovered, maybe. But the other three are shite. They're just waste of time, waste of money when we could have gone ahead and put money into a serious attacker that we may have had right now fully fit and raring to go. It's just, this is exactly what happens when you don't prepare properly and when you give money to an absolute fool. It's ridiculous. I mean, is there even? I was thinking about it today. Is there any free agents we could get right currently? Because obviously you can sign free agents whenever you want.
Bring back Theo Walcott.
Oh Jesus!
Peel him off of the FA Cup. The FA Cup draw. With Alex Scott. Peel him off of that desk and fucking throw him onto the carpet, baby. Let's do it. I don't know of any. No, I'm serious. I have no idea. I have no idea who's available for a striker position as a free agent or even on loan. Like, bring back some sort of old head. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's all I'm saying. And look, you just have to question, like, and I know you were talking about like midfielders and bringing in midfielders. I mean, now the outgoings even look awful. Like sending Reece Nelson out on loan looks bad now, like really bad.
Yeah.
Because we needed a backup right winger. Now we're having to sacrifice Trossard on the right, or Sterling on the right, and Wanyeri on the right, or Wanyeri up the middle. Like it's one of those things where if you were looking for experienced players, you had them, but you wanted to thin out the squad so much because you thought you had the versatility in your perfect profile of player. Like, what are you doing? You could have had a bench. You could have forced, and I hate to say this, and I'm going to regret saying this probably, but you could have forced Fabio Vieira to stay on the bench, and Fabio Vieira could actually slide in over there on the right. And he was actually awful when I saw him, but he's a body. We're not looking at our youth team and being like, hey guys, guess what? You guys get to come sit on the bench and watch all 11 of our players play 90 minutes because everybody else is injured. And another thing I want to talk about, Walcott. Yeah, Walcott. Yeah, bring him back. That's
100%. He'd do a job, but well, don't know about now.
I don't think so. I don't know about now. Like Theo's a legend. Actually, I fist bumped him when he was out here on tour. He's a legend. But he's a good dude. But that being said, I want to kind of pivot because I think we could talk about ifs, ands, or buts. I think that our shopping list is the same, if not more so the same than it has been the last 2-3 years during the summer transfer window. So it's going to be an interesting summer. But I want to know what is Arteta doing during training? What is he doing that is causing our players that you are going to need for 90 minutes to rip their hamstring off the bone? Like, what are we doing? Like, we're supposed to go to Dubai. We're supposed to go and get rest and relaxation, warm weather training. You're not in London freaking freezing your balls off. You're out there and your muscles are loose. Are we running sprints? Is that all we're doing? Just running sprints and catching people's hamstrings? Like, I want to know, because the same shit, Connor, happened to fucking Gabriel. Who was it? Gabrielle at the beginning of the season, injured in fucking training.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this happen? It needs to be looked at. It seriously needs to be looked at and considered by this board, because you start to see the worm turning a lot in terms of like who the blame is shifted towards. A lot of people are starting to point to the Cronkies. I'm starting to point to them too, because you're allowing this shit to happen.
Yep.
You now seriously, and that scar is brutal. I saw that cover.
Yeah,
but
man.
Yeah, back on topic. Like, what are we doing? Are we like? It seriously has to be questioned, and now I'm questioning the Cronkies, and I wasn't before, because I think blaming the knee-jerk reaction, blaming the ownership, is only applicable if they don't sack him at the end of the season.
Yep.
So that's kind of my thought. Would you both be fuming if you somehow drop points to Leicester?
No, because I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
I would be mad. No, I'm not gonna lie. I would be mad. I would be very mad, because we are Arsenal Football Club. We should not be losing to relegation.
100%. 100%. Listen, I completely agree. But honestly, TJ, I'm at the point now. I think I'm just numb. Like, this season's a write-off for me.
The season's done, yeah.
As has been the last couple seasons since we won the FA Cup. Like, yeah, I don't care if we became second twice. I don't care if we scored the most goals out of any Arsenal team ever. I don't care, because at the end of the day, in 10 years' time, are you really going to remember the fact that Arsenal scored the most goals ever, or the fact that they could have possibly won a Premier League trophy? If that was the scenario, right? So you had the example of a Premier League trophy last season, or 90 plus goals, whatever it was. What would you remember more? The Premier League trophy. Like, it's like, people, like, I know exactly, but I'm not going to just out the name in it, because it's just, I don't want to be rude in it, but I know exactly who I'm talking about. Like, and teacher doesn't as well. Like, people fucking, getting hyped over the fact we scored loads of goals. Well, it's well and good that we scored loads of goals. I'm happy that we scored loads of goals. Fantastic. What's that won us? Like, at the end of the day, we could score 150 goals for all I care. Did it win us a trophy? If it didn't, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if we concede one goal in a season. Cool. Pretty sick, I guess.
No, we were just unlucky, Connor. We were just unlucky.
Yeah, we're just unlucky. It's the injuries. And listen, don't get me wrong. Listen, we have been a little bit unlucky. Don't get me wrong. But we should have reinforced. We should have got better. We should have got that backup winger. We should have got that new striker. But what did we do? We signed Mikel Merino, Norberto Neto, and Raheem Sterling. In our fifth year of this process, we're signing that caliber of player? Really?
Yeah, and we're linked FC. You know what I mean?
Hold
on.
Perceived, pushing for the deal, scouting the player, weighing up the options, monitoring, discussing. They appreciate the player, edging closer, studying, exploring, flirting, leading the race, targeting, prioritizing, considering, keeping tabs on the player, agreeing personal terms, following. He's a concrete
it's so
name.
Funny. I'm sorry.
Luring, gauging, in love with. How many more buzzwords do these journos need? Like, real talk, how many more buzzwords do these journos actually need?
He's not wrong. Every single word he uses is pretty much our summer transfer window. Literally, that is what a lot of the journos go ahead and use it. I've seen we've been linked to fucking tons of players. We've been linked to Moise Keane recently. We've been linked to fucking everyone, man. It's just that we linked to
Gyökeres, linked to Harry Kane, Caicedo. Remember when we were linked to Caicedo and we weren't serious about it? Vlahovic, like, you remember that old one when Robbie's betting his house on Vlahovic being brought in 2 or 3 years ago. How's that going now?
I remember the whole.
When is Draxler getting here? That's my question.
Yeah, when's Benzema getting here?
Yeah, when's Benzema getting here? It's bro.
It's just the level. But TJ, this is what you expect when you've got fools in the scouting system and all that. And the fact that we're going ahead and appointing Edu's second-hand man as our new what's it called, director of football. It just speaks a whole novel of what this club's all about. Zero ambition, zero, just nothing, lack of effort, nothing to show us moving forward and getting that trophy, getting that title. Nothing. Why are we signing a div that was below Edu? What's the point? You're going to get Edu 2.0 practically, minus the Brazilian players, minus the keeping good relations with Flamengo. Wherever we got fucking Marquinhos. Where's Marquinhos, by the way? I thought he was meant to be the new right winger.
He's in Brazil.
You know what? It's crazy that the fact that the only backups who ever signed to Saka have been Brazilians and Willian and Marquinhos. So where have they gone? Where have they gone all of a sudden? It's ridiculous. That is what we've had in charge for the last 5 years. It's ridiculous. God forbid, I hope to God when Saka is fully fit, and I mean fully fit, not 80, not 85, not 99, 100% fit, I pray to God that is the last major injury he has. Because if this club has ruined his career and he gets regular injuries like that, Arteta should be on his fucking hands and knees apologising to him. I'm sorry I didn't get someone to help you out behind you. I'm sorry that I relied on you 24/7. I'm sorry that I pushed you to injury. Because it's disgraceful. The fact that he got pushed that far to the fact he's got a scar like that on his leg, that's down to Mikel Arteta. That's not down to Bukayo Saka. That's down to Mikel Arteta, the fitness team, and everyone at Arsenal and the scouts who couldn't even be asked to go ahead and get someone behind him to help him out. And that goes the same to any player in any league, in any team that gets relied on like that. Young age, not an experienced footballer, a young footballer. He came into this team when he was 18, I believe, 18, 19.
Yep.
Played. But listen, I'm not asking Saka to be rotated. I'm asking for someone to be there who never was. There was never a player there to keep Saka, on his feet 100%. Even someone to compete with. He never had that. Constantly relied on. We were playing Saka through injuries. We've done the same with Ben White. I don't even think Ben White's that fantastic, but we're doing the same with him. He even came out and said he was playing with an injury for 75% of last season. Is this what we've got to do with players?
You remember when he was throwing Thomas Partey out there on the pitch when he was injured?
Yeah, exactly.
And we all took the piss about it about Saka always limping, but he was seriously injured. It's legit. This guy is a warrior. Don't get me wrong.
Saka isn't the type of guy to do it to take like a Richarlison type prick just to say, I'm wasting time here. I do generally think he had a problem every time. I never think that he went ahead and just done it for the sake of it, because look at the amount of times that he was constantly being relied on. It's ridiculous. In a team, listen, everyone has their player that they should rely on. City do have Haaland. Liverpool have Mohamed Salah. But these are players who are well known to the game. They've got quality around them. They've got people Haaland had Alvarez last season to constantly swap around with. This season, obviously, it's been a bit less. But then again, Haaland hasn't really been. I like to say, listen, he's top goal scorer for a reason, but hasn't been the player he was really last season. But it just comes down to the fact that the way that Saka's been looked after and treated, I think it's absolutely disgusting. And the fact that it's left him with that massive wound on the side of his leg, that scar, just shows it, doesn't it? And when you don't get proper recruitment,
right? And we've talked about this before, but maybe for the people that haven't heard about it, or heard my take on this, I fear for his career moving forward.
Same here.
Because you get an injury like that, it doesn't matter who his manager is. I mean, he's going to be playing for Tuchel, he's going to be playing for Arteta. You are not the same player after you have an injury like that. No matter how much you want to convince yourself you are, knee injuries like that, ACL injuries like that, hamstring injuries like that will, in the back of your mind, make you extra cautionary. Because at the end of the day, this is his job and he doesn't want to be injured all the time. This is a career that he needs to worry about. Don't be surprised if he stops taking his man on as much as he normally does when he's over there. The same Bukayo Saka that cuts into the middle and fires one into the corner is not going to be the Bukayo Saka that comes back. I don't want to be that. I hate being Mr. Negative when it comes to this, but there are plenty of footballing examples with knee injuries coming back. Big up Charlie every single time. Macy, we're doing a closed panel today, my guy. Big up Charlie every single time. My biggest problem is that people don't consider that. They just think, oh yeah, well, Saka's going to come back and everything's going to be okay. No, it very well may not be, because these injuries are devastating for a reason. This is why I want to shut him down, because say we dress him up against what were they saying? He's going to be back in April. Let's just call it May. Say he starts against Bournemouth at home on May 3rd. Just say he does. He goes out there, you bring him back too quick, you injure him again. Like, what's the point? Just what? To cement top 4? Like, it's just a shambles to me, man. And look, at the end of the day, it comes down to bad man management and bad management and bad training.
Yeah, I agree. And
no,
the fact that
no, screw you, Charlie. I know what you're doing here. Charlie. Sorry, go ahead. I know I rambled there for a second.
No glimmer, Charlie.
These people, man, they're looking at it through rainbow-colored glasses. I'm like, this club is the prime example, the dictionary definition of Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong, and it did this season. We were lucky last season. We were lucky. A lot of people blame the Saliba injury for why we dropped out after leading the league for 93% of the season 2 years ago. But what was the excuse for last season? I don't know, man. Something needs to change, man. And look, I know we're not in a bad abode as Spurs, but like, somebody called us spicy Spurs today, and I kind of agree with it, because, dude, we have as many injuries as they do. Like,
actually, yeah, we actually fuck yeah. Let me actually count
our back line isn't as damaged as theirs is, but the numbers have to be close.
We've got
what do we got? We got Ben White, Gabriel Jesus.
We've got 6 injuries in total. I think they do have a little bit more than us.
Yeah.
6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got 6. They've got 10.
Okay, fair
enough. A little bit of a difference, but then again, a little bit of a difference. Then again, actually, no,
they got big Ange, so it's fine.
Yeah, Odegaard. Well, then again, Odegaard and Werner, you might as well -2 on them ones. So really, it's actually 8.
Well, Odegaard had an alright showing of himself.
He did, yeah. And again, he's very young. He's only 20 years old, so you should probably give him a bit more time. But he hasn't really. I mean, he wasn't really ripping up trees when he played. But no, listen. Whoever's calling us the spicy Spurs can go politely do one, because let's be honest, as much as we have been shit, we're never going to be like Spurs, are we? It's never going to come down to that bad. I mean, the only thing that really that Spurs have on us at the moment is that they've been to a Champions League final more recently than us. Apart from that, let's be honest and real, what have they got closer to us apart from anything? Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, North London's is dead anyway. It's shit. There's nothing going through North London at the moment apart from crop dusts, and things in the movies that like go along in the desert. That's all going through North London at the moment, because we've got nothing to show for it, and they don't either. So it's well and truly gone to the fact that, in my opinion, same old shit. TJ, I guarantee you can even mark the date. We'll be here this time next season. That's bullshit, man. Plus more trophies. Man. The one thing, 1980s, you bastards.
Exactly.
I think it's even earlier than that. No, it's not. I think it's the 80s. Is it the 80s? I can't remember.
Dude, no. Anytime Spurs fans want to get in an argument, they need to, dust off. They need to dust off the fucking history books and we won the European Fairs Cup back in 1981. It's like, who gives a shit? Who cares? We're in a whole new league now. That cup doesn't even exist anymore. Like, and this is why I don't big up the European Cup Winners' Cup. Like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Nobody cares. I mean, like, really, listen, European heritage. Who gives a shit? If it's if it's not a fucking Europa League in the last 10 years or a Champions League, nobody gives a fuck.
No, nobody gives a shit.
West Ham fans coming out.
No one gives a shit about our
Conference League champions. Fuck off.
Well, no one gives one about our Cup Winners' Cup in the 80s. So, which is literally comparison to what the Europa League was. So it is what it is. Or the 60s and whenever we won it. No, it's the 80s. But listen, I was actually looking ahead to our Leicester game, right? Against we're playing on
Dust
on
off the
Saturday.
history books, Charlie. Just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
TOF cuts through called the Europa League. Yeah, exactly. But listen, the thing with Saturday, it's I'm looking at it. Leicester. This is what's going to be interesting. Leicester are 1 goal away from matching the worst defense in the league this season. Right, they're 1 goal away, and they're not too high on goals scored either. They are really running on fumes at the moment. Listen, Jamie Vardy, all well and good, has played well against Arsenal in the past. If we're allowing a 35-year-old to score against us, let's not take the piss here. So I like to think that our defence, which we are heavily reinforced in and is fully fit at the moment, God forbid no one else gets injuries in Dubai by Saturday, we should be all right. So I like to think our defence will be on top notch on Saturday. It's the attack. If we can't put a goal or two past Leicester, worst defensive record in the league, Leicester, strap yourselves in. It's going to be a long end to the season because
he slipped at Salt Bay's restaurant.
I can't tell if Mike's taking the piss at this point, and he's probably actually typed that whilst mimicking him saying that in an English accent. Oh, how did Havertz get hurt? Oh.
Mike, why don't you go back to crying about Michael Oliver, you pussy? Go back to crying about Michael Oliver.
Hold that 2-2. You deserve that. Hold that 2-2. As much as
you'll
win the league anyway, but hold that 2-2 still.
You, Hussam, all you Liverpool losers deserve that. I'm not going to lie. Lex deserves it too. Oh my God. Yeah, that was so satisfying. I'm not going to lie. That was really satisfying. And then seeing Slot get carted up at the end. Oh my God. I loved it. We're winning the league. I don't care if you're winning the league. You can still hold that draw when you should have very easily gotten out of your last visit to Goodison Park.
Everyone, you bitches at Merseyside, at Goodison Park. You're their bitches, man. I think, it's the second time in a row now. 2-0 last season, 2-2 this season. There's no 3 points coming out of Goodison Park. Hopefully, it happens in the new stadium as well. So we'll wait and see on that one. But big up to what's his name, Moise. Every single time. Moise. So anyway, but listen, away from that, we're the ones crying here, Das, because we currently have no forward line at the moment. So hey ho, it is what it is. But listen, I'll be interested to see how we play on Saturday because obviously this is going to be a completely different outlet to us. I like to think Wanyeri is going to show the talent that we've got on the right that we're missing from Saka because he's looking absolutely fantastic at the moment. I just hope to God we don't drain the shit out of him. I really hope we don't. I mean. Who else we're going to play? I don't know. I just hope to God we don't drain him and completely ruin his anything because it worries me, TJ. And if this club fucking dares in the summer to take their time with buying attackers, I swear to all they will fucking dare to wait till deadline day to do it as a bit of PR. I swear to God to you. I swear to God, if they buy a 9 and wait till fucking deadline day to do it, to give a fiasco, Arsenal signed player in the last minute. They love the player. They adore the player. They love him. I swear to God, if they do that, I'm going to let fucking loose. Really,
no, you're gonna see more of this.
Perceived, pushing for the deal.
You're going to see pushing for the deal.
All window. We'll sign some dross left, right, and centre. But it's just like, oh my God. And do you know what? And people can't forget, by the way, we aren't guaranteed to sign Zubimendi yet. That's not set in stone. That was a little story by David Ornstein.
That whole narrative really died real quickly, didn't it?
It did, but I think it's because he told Arsenal and whoever else was apparently Barcelona were interested in him as well, which, by the way, would probably make more sense for him, by the way, going to Barcelona. It's just up the road from him. He hasn't got to travel far. It probably makes a bit more sense. However, I'm trying to see if I can find a tweet. But, it was never confirmed when the thing came out that he had signed a deal with Arsenal, that he'd confirmed anything with Arsenal. It's not something that was ever set in stone. So the fact that people have come out and thinking, but we're going to get Zubimendi in the summer, it's not guaranteed, by the way, people. It really isn't. He could go to Barcelona under Hansi Flick. He could be more tempted. If I was Zubimendi, would I rather go play under Mikel Arteta's bum or Hansi Flick? I'd choose Hansi Flick. Do you know why? Because we should have Hansi Flick. I wanted Hansi Flick at Arsenal. Now I want Inzaghi. People tell me, free at the back football. You don't want that. Ha ha ha. Wing back football. I couldn't give a shit. I want a manager that's going to go ahead and win us something. Look what he's done with Inter Milan. Why wouldn't I want that? So, oh, but the system, our team would have bit the system. Fuck the system. This system's boring as shit. It's shit. I want something different. Give me 5 back. Give me some wing backs. Give me Frimpong on the right. Why not? Why not? Give me something different. You know, just because it ain't working with Man United, don't mean it can't work with Arsenal. We got better players than Man United. You know, so I'd take Inzaghi right now. I would have taken a Hansi Flick at the time. But here we are.
I think Hansi Flick is the biggest. I think Hansi Flick not coming to this football club is one of the biggest misses ever. Not only because that was my take, but because this guy's won shit and he's making a difference at Barcelona. Has it been as consistent as everybody would like down at Barcelona? No, but he's still a world class manager. He won a sextuple. That is 6 trophies in one season.
Yep.
Fuck a treble, a sextuple. Okay, I think that's what you call it. Anyway, there are winning managers out there that we could have brought in at key moments, and we decided to throw it behind Mikel Arteta's. And I'm just done with it, man. Like eventually the fan club or eventually the fan base will come around, but it's gonna be too late. And then we're going to be in a 5-year rebuild. And then everybody's going to be entrusted in the process again.
Once, you know, I think Arteta's got to murder someone for them to realize he's actually shit. You know, like I don't understand what they've got to see to understand that Arteta is not going to win Arsenal fucking anything. Like, I don't, why people, do you know what? I saw a clip the other day of Turkish having a go at Julian for like the bullshit he came out with. He was like they were talking about the whole striker situation. And big up Turkish, man. Turkish, I swear to God, him and Dan Potts are the only ones on that channel that keep it fucking real. I swear. Like if they weren't on that channel would be the most unbearable shit I'd ever seen in my life. Like it would be awful. So big up Turkish. He did call out Julian. And listen, if I was ever on AFTV, I'd call out Julian as well because I think he spouts absolute bollocks. I think he's a great person, but I think he spouts bollocks. And Julian and Turkish came out and had a go at him for. You know, Julian was going on about saying, but Havertz, like we're talking about, you know, replacing Havertz. He was like, well, Havertz scores goals. And then Turkish was like, well, Gabriel scores goals. Does that make him a striker? You know, and he's like, no, but he scores a goal. Like, we can have multiple goal scorers. And I'm like, well, Julian, it's all well and good having multiple fucking goal scorers. I reiterate back to my 90 plus goal stat that we've got. Wow, we scored 90 plus goals. Statistician, brilliant. Where's the trophy to show for that? Where's the silverware? Do we get a trophy for that? Do we get a new dog for that? Do we get a new dog called Lose or something or Draw? Because we've got one called Win. Why don't we complete the set with 3? You know, like it's just they're all as bad as each other. In honesty, you know, great people. I'm sure away from football.
I'm sure they're great people, but at the end of the day,
it's fucking shit. And it's keeping honest and real. They're awful. And listen, my football take isn't fantastic. I'm not making out that I've got the best football opinion in the world. Fuck me. I was out here saying that I wanted Ange as manager in his first 10 games at Spurs, and I'll hold that. I don't give a shit. I'll hold that.
I remember that.
They were playing fantastic under Ange in their first 10 games. We were playing like shit. Of course I was going to go ahead and say that. So hold that and read it out of context, Stefan. You motherfucker. Every time. Oh, but you said you wanted Ange. Read the context when I said it.
Yeah, Stefan doesn't watch this. Stefan doesn't watch this.
So
big up Bob Mark. You can hold that. To be honest, you can hold all of that.
Yeah, the one night, Bob. God forbid you had one night of it. You'll be sleeping great in May, won't you? When
you're still 7 points clear.
Let's not take the piss here. Let's not take the piss here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, and this is why I think like there has to be a little bit of that paid actor syndrome in there for them to be like, and I don't think it necessarily applies to Turkish, because I think the guys like Turkish and Troops, like they were always a little more on the critical side.
They're not perfect people. They don't have the perfect opinion, but I mean they're talking more sense.
No, it's the uneducated. Like it's so glaringly obvious. It's like you step out of a loss to 2-0 to Aston Villa away or at home, and you're in there, you're saying back the boys, we should have won, you know, the deserve to win-o-meter kind of shit. Sorry, my freaking dog is going crazy. And then you go outside the stadium, get in front of a camera and spout absolute shit. And you try to convince people that the sky is fucking purple and not blue. Like that's my biggest problem. Is that you're gassing up something that needs to be addressed seriously by the football club because this football club is watching, and you're doing it because you're looking for clicks. And that's all it's about at the end of the day is clicks. That's why you get Yardman out there, and then you get the other end of the spectrum.
I keep forgetting about him. Big up Yardman every single time.
Yeah, that's why you get Yardman out there, and then you get freaking happy clappers like Julian and Ty. Like, that's just the way it is. I mean, and it's the same way out here in America, by the way, too. Like, there was some disgusting behavior from Arsenal fans at the Big Six tailgate. Disgusting, reprehensible behavior. This guy said, we're going to win the fucking league. It's like, no, we're not. Like, shut the fuck up. We're not winning the league with Kai Havertz as a striker. It's just never going to happen.
People live on... Listen, don't get me wrong. I live on a massive high after a big Arsenal win, like the 5-1 against Man City.
Dude, the 5-1, I was an asshole after
I was on the biggest high. Of course I was. But of course you're going to be on a high, but there's also high and there's sense at the same time. You're buzzing about the win like I am.
I said we were buzzing to beat
them 5-1. You know, the amount of times we've had to hold massive wins against them, massive losses against them, over the years, we finally absolutely smashed, not only beat them, we smashed the shit out of them. I was buzzing. But I also had in my head that we're not just... Dreamland's over now. Games happened. Fantastic win. Let's remember where we're at. We're still chasing 9 points behind, at the time, possible 9 points behind Liverpool. Now 7. You know, we're still in a run. We've got no Jesus. We've got no backup striker. Saka's still out. You know, we're in and out of form. You know, it's not all rosy daisies. I'm out here seeing people fucking talking about the league again. It's just like, Jesus, when do we ever learn? The first season when we competed for the league in 22-23, someone actually made a compilation of all the AFTV interviews from that season of like, it's like a half an hour, 45-minute video of all the things. And people were talking about the league after the 3-1 loss to Man United. We think we beat Forest or something. It was like 5-0 or something like that. People were talking about, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. And it's like, people think about dreams before they think about logic. A league title isn't over after 10 games. It's not over after 5 games. You know, it's like, you've got to play a whole season. It's a tough thing to do. It's not something that's done overnight or done in after a 5-0 win against a team. It doesn't work like that. So that's why, you know, I've kind of learned over time to get my head, enjoy the high of a win, but don't get mixed in with the whole, we're now going to win the league. We're now going to do this. We're going to do that. You know, at the end of the day, it's hilarious to, I'll put the link in the chat in a minute, in the minute prime. It's a funny thing to watch, to be fair, because it's the whole point of it is to take the piss out of the fact we bottled it at the end of the season. And then it's funny when you do see at the end of the season when we got slapped by City 4-1, the fact that it's not perfect. You know, we're not gonna, you know, it's not all happy roses and daisies. And then it's the same thing, same as every season. Go back to any interview at the end of any season. Bring on next season. Bring on the new season. Bring on the new season. Can't wait for pre-season. Can't wait. You know, it's like, it's the same thing every single time with us. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be the same. You know, I generally do think, everyone, we're going to be here in this exact same spot this time next year with no Carabao Cup. We may still be, hopefully, still progressing the FA Cup, but I do generally think under this manager, I don't think we're going to win any more trophies apart from that FA Cup. And he will be here next season because I know they're already talking about plans for transfers in the summer. God forbid who the fuck we're going to sign anyway. He will be here. The manager will leave unless he decides to leave himself when he realizes he's that shit that he can't actually do anything, when hopefully he comes to that realization sooner than we all think. Or we end up finishing 10th or out of the Champions League spot, maybe possibly finishing out the Champions League spot, he'd get sacked because then the Cronkies would be like, well, we need more money. You know, so we're going to be in this spiral, guys, and it's sad actually to think about that. And listen, we don't know what the future holds. I mean, fuck me, we could probably win. For all we know, we could win the Champions League this season. It's not going to happen. We don't know that we could do it in another reality, but we're not. But you know, there's that whole if but maybe if we could do it. But in reality, let's look at the situation. Let's look at our form. I want to talk about stats and statistics. Look at where we've been at. Currently, we're performing worse than last season. By the way, in terms of league table, we're performing worse, and in terms of the cups as well, we're performing worse. So we are. What's the word? Regressing? Is it
regressing? Regressing is the word. Yeah.
You know, so we're going backwards here. So if we finish in a lower points position than last season, I'm going for every fucker that told me the excuse for not us winning the Premier League was because we've progressed in points every season. I swear on my life, I'm waiting for us to drop lower than last season to tell everyone I told you so and to stop spouting shit. Like I actually will be very curious. Actually, I already know what the excuse will be. The excuse will be the fucking injuries.
The excuse is already the injuries. That's why Egal, big up Egal, really, really nice guy. The biggest flip flop on fucking YouTube, though. That he was Arteta out for a good 15 minutes. And then when the injury bites starting hitting us, he says, "Oh no, I want to give Arteta another season." To what? To do what? To do what? To bring in more dead players that we can then injure? Like, the fuck are we doing here? You know, just up, you know, and I know everybody's standards FC, TJ, you're the standards FC. No, up the standards. I want to see us win something before I fucking die. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah. It seems like it's never going to happen. We don't go far in FA Cups. We don't go far enough in Carabao Cups. We die in semifinals. We die in March. We die in December. Doesn't matter. It's a foregone fucking conclusion under this manager, which is why we need to get him out. Which is why he needs to get him out. I don't come on this channel every single day saying Arteta out. You want to know why? It's boring. It's boring, and at this point, it's unrealistic because the cult of personality around this fan base has put him up on a pedestal. They're still gonna fucking unravel the tifo, vamos, this weekend or next weekend when West Ham come and visit, and the vibes are gonna be immaculate. Like we're mudded, Connor, because mediocrity is now the standard. That's the problem. That's the problem. And you have a captain that has completely disappeared. Your true captain and center back is really the only thing holding this team together. Your other center back has one eye on Madrid. Your right back is one injury away from his career being over. Your left back is from your academy, who you were burying until you had to play him, and then you fell and then you
finally realized that he's actually a good fucking
finally
player.
Realized he was good. Exactly. Declan Rice, I'm not going to say a bad word about. I like Declan
Rice. I
think
his hate is majorly overdone, by the way.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
It is down to the fact of the money. But then again, am I a hypocrite for saying that I give Havertz shit because of the price you paid for him? Well, not really, no, because Declan Rice, what he does, I expect him to do. You know, at the end of the day, we're playing Rice. Rice has always been a defensive player. Let's get that straight. Growing up, he was a centre-back, moved to a CDM role. We've now put him in an 8. I think what Rice does for the club is absolutely fine. Listen, maybe sometimes he won't be fantastic, but at the end of the day, he's my DM. It's not because of the money we paid for him. It's not because of the fact that, you know, he's just my favourite player off the pick. I genuinely think he is someone who most of the time is consistent. You know, and at the end of the day, he does his job. He's a defensive midfielder at the end of the day. You know, we placed him in a role, a Xhaka role, which he isn't. He isn't Xhaka. Well, no, let me get that right. He isn't 22, 23 Xhaka, because Xhaka wasn't fucking fantastic for all of his time at Arsenal. He's not that Xhaka. You know, he is more of a 6 defensively. You know, he controls midfield. He's a leader. He's an anchor man, as somehow I'd like to maybe. He's a bit more of an anchor man for me than a progressive attacking midfielder. It's just fact. So no, I think Declan Rice gets overhated way too much, TJ. Sorry for interrupting you there.
No worries. No worries at all. No, I agree. And big up Casually FC for the raid. If you guys are coming over from Marshall's channel, number 1, Marshall's a fraud, but he's a good friend of mine. Number 2, smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. This is the channel where me and Marshall and Vader and Das and the rest of the crew go head to head on American Waffle every Monday night, maybe even Sunday night sometimes now. So subscribe to the channel, make sure that you comment, like, share, and do all that stuff. Big up Casually for the raid every single time. No, I think that he started the season slow, but I partially blame that on the Euros. I think he's been one of our most solid players this season. Like, especially when we needed a rock in the midfield, he has consistently put in shifts.
He's that silent player, TJ.
Yeah,
he's that silent player. You know, he does his job quietly.
He's not going to put in a stinker like you will see Thomas Partey do, or you will see Odegaard do. Partey, don't get me wrong. When Partey is on, he is the best player on our team. But when he is off, he is fucking shit. Odegaard just didn't show up this season. Nobody woke him up
he's
in August.
Mr. Inconsistent anyway.
I
mean,
swear to God,
much money for him. He just is Mr. Inconsistent, and the fact that he has that armband. Listen, it must be an absolute proud thing to wear the armband for such a big club. Like I couldn't imagine having to do that. He didn't ask for it. He got handed the armband. The manager gave him the armband, right?
Yeah.
If I was Odegaard, I mean, then again, I wouldn't know because I'm not a captain of a massive football club, but surely he sees there are bigger voices in that changing room than he is. Like I said to TJ and Dow the other week on a match reaction, there is no way he walks into that dressing room and starts telling people how it is. There's no way. The only people I see doing that are maybe Gabriel, Declan Rice. At the time, probably someone like Aaron Ramsdale. Granit Xhaka was good at that as well. That's why he was captain as well. He had a voice. He was a leader. This guy isn't a leader. It's simple as that. I've already made it clear to people. I'd sell Odegaard in the summer. I would. I'm coming to the point now. I'd sell him. I think he's too inconsistent. And I'd sign Florian Wirtz. You want to improve?
Florian Wirtz.
You want to improve on a fucking
He's
player?
a player.
You go ahead and pay money for Florian Wirtz. And Odegaard wouldn't be cheap. Wouldn't be cheap, by the way. As much as I do give him shit, when he turns up, he fucking turns up, and he plays very, very well. However, Odegaard doesn't do that every game. He's inconsistent. Literally, don't get me wrong. Not every player is consistent. Players have off days. But when you're meant to be one of the biggest players of the club, when you're meant to be the captain of the club, think about the players we've had in that as a captain.
But Connor, he doesn't have Saka to help him out.
Yeah.
His performances are based off of Saka being available. And if that is the case, by the way, go fuck yourself. Then he's not a world-class player. World-class players are able to take the game by the scruff of the neck and get it done themselves. That is a world-class player. Not a captain that needs to lean on his already overburdened 22-year-old, probably injured right winger. Like this is my biggest problem with Odegaard, is that if you're not going to be that voice in the locker room, then fucking perform and lead by example. If you're not, fuck off. If you're not, fuck off. I don't care about waves. I don't care about arm waves. I don't care about singing North London Forever under your breath. I don't give a shit about any of that because that's all PR. I don't care. Can you fucking perform on the pitch? If not, move along, because Ethan Nwaneri is more of a spark in that position.
100%. 100%. At the moment, yes.
And he is so confident on the ball. He creates space for those around him. And look, and another thing, and I know we're going long, Connor. I hope it's all right.
No, cool. I'm cool, bro.
The longer we go, the more questions I have. And big up everybody inside. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're commenting along. We will answer questions. We will answer any very, very good questions. How about that? Catch my attention with your questions, guys. But no, so Odegaard in the midfield. I don't understand why people are holding on so hard. I don't understand it. Actually, no, I remember. Sorry, I got completely caught off guard. I remember my question now. So when we go down 1-0 at home to West Ham, okay, imagine this scenario, and we start getting desperate. What do we normally do when we start getting desperate? When we enter the final third of the pitch and we need a goal? We just start spamming crosses, hoping that it hits somebody's head. Do you really think that a player like Trossard is going to be able to produce off of that? I know the answer. Do you know the answer? The answer is no. He does not have height. That is not that profile of player. So I'm wondering, is this manager really going to show us that he has a different adjustment to make or a different look to give us? Do you think that's going to happen, Connor, or am I?
No.
Okay.
This guy will be captain. He'll be leader until his manager's gone. If any, unless a new manager comes in and unlocks him and makes him more consistent, then maybe I'd keep him. But under Arteta, I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep my Odegaard. I don't. And I will say that on any show, I will happily get abused by any chat. to prove my point. I don't care.
Getting abused by chats is just
at the end of the day. I want quality. I want a Kevin De Bruyne in my team. Prime Kevin De Bruyne. I want that. Odegaard. This is what pisses me off, and I will say this before anything, because I say a line like I just said about selling Odegaard, and people go, what? You let me finish my fucking point. There's so many people who are like that. If Odegaard done what he done, again, I'm trying to think. It definitely hasn't been this season. I'm trying to think of a game where Odegaard is really cooked, where he does the flicks, he does the tricks, he plays balls in perfectly. There are games where Odegaard does that, but the fact where please someone. Chat, I want to give you a little task to do right now. Arsenal fans, probably most likely. I don't know if rival fans may know as well. I want you to sit down, give yourself 10 seconds, starting from now. When's Odegaard last done a really good game? I'll give you 10 seconds. I guarantee it takes you longer than 10 seconds to think about it, because I can't even fucking think about it. That's how long it's been. Seriously. Like, if Odegaard was doing that every game like he's meant to be, and as a leader, I wouldn't be saying this. But he's fucking inconsistent. Odegaard doesn't turn up for the big games. Recency bias. Where was he against Newcastle in those 2 legs for the semi-final? Fucking nowhere. Where was he against Bayern in the Champions League last season? Fucking nowhere. It's right. It's written on the wall, man. Captain of the club, meant to be this shining light, shining prospect. Don't get me wrong. I think Odegaard is a technically very gifted player, but if you're not going to offer me the talent that you've got in every game to make sure that we win titles after titles, like we did back in the 90s, in the early O's, with Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, I don't want you here. And I'd rather go for someone who's got more talent, more aspire to actually go ahead and win things, has already won a league title, like Florian Wirtz. It's as simple as that for me. I'm sorry, but it's all well and good. Oh, but I love him. Oh, but I love him. He's so lovely. He's got lovely blonde hair. Like, well and good. You may love him. Then go marry him. I don't care. Go. If you love him that much, go be his partner. You're all well and good to do that. Please do. Please do that. But if you're not going to consistently perform for my club, which is what I care about, my club, and I don't care about Odegaard. I don't care about even Saliba or Gabriel. I care about Arsenal. Yep. That's what I care about. I care about my club. I care about the fans. I care about the people who work there week in, week out, work their arse off. And I ain't talking about the shitty scouts or Arteta. I'm talking about the backroom people, cleaners for God's sake, chefs, people who actually work their fucking arse off in the club. We don't want to be a laughing stock. We are a laughing stock currently, by the way. We are a laughing stock. We're meant to be the 3rd biggest club in the country. And the two
that's also because we have a bunch of fucking YouTubing clout chasers.
Well, of course, there's that side of it
that give the real ones a bad name. Sorry, I'm not gonna.
No,
I'm not
gonna
go down that.
It's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. We are a laughing stock currently. The team that the Man United and Liverpool have both won way more than we have in recent times. So this whole thing about in terms of league titles, by the way, title, Champions League, Premier League. I'm not siding the FA Cup as it's nothing. The FA Cup is massive for us, of course, but I mean, like,
I love that. I love that trophy.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know why people. How are we in a position to disregard cups?
Of course.
Like, fuck off. Oh, no, GG, that's a Mickey Mouse cup.
No, of course.
I'm thirsty, my friend. I need a drink. Like.
Anyway, well, yeah, but unfortunately, again, social media. That's social media for you, isn't it? So. It is what it is. But, again, I look at it in the sense of, we're an absolute laughing stock at the moment. We need change. And if you're not going to offer me consistency at a football club, I want you gone. It's as simple as that. And Gabriel and Saliba, 2 core parts that have been consistent for me. Yes, Saliba hasn't been great in recent weeks, in recent game weeks, but overall, solid. 2 defenders been fantastic. Timber, fantastic. That's my right back at the moment. Listen, again, maybe he has the off game, but consistent. David Raya had a really bad game against Newcastle, but he has been consistent, making fucking fantastic saves.
My goalkeeper, I don't care. I know he did his
really,
best
really
Robert
good.
Sanchez
I'm seeing
impression,
consistency of my man. Declan Rice, I see consistency. At the moment, Thomas Partey, I'm seeing consistency. But then again, I do want Thomas Partey sold, and I want someone else, and I would love to see a Zubimendi. Consistency. I want to see someone like Zubimendi come in. He'd offer consistency. Odegaard, I'm not seeing consistency. Either drop or you're gone. Simple as that. That's how my system would work. Listen, and I know people will drop. Oh, but the money. Yes, this wouldn't be something I'm asking like FIFA that I can just do on the hand. But I'm talking as a factor here. If I'm seeing over the years of Odegaard being here, has offered us nothing in crucial games to go ahead and push us onto trophies. Leader, by the way, our main number 10 or number 8, however you want to describe him, attacking midfielder, just an 8. our main creativity going forward. If he doesn't offer us that in the big, he can offer us that against Forest 5-0. He can offer us that in the games that don't really matter all that much. But when it gets to crunch time and he doesn't offer us that, I don't want you here. It's as simple as that. Same with Gabriel Martinelli. If you're not going to turn up consistently, brother, we're going to have to find you a replacement. Nico Williams, why not? Someone. And if again, and I want to make this clear, if these players don't work out, you move them on. Sell. Get decent people in to actually sell players. Look at Chelsea. They sign players for fucking nothing. Realize they're shit. They sell them on for decent prices. It's these little things, man. And listen, it's an ideal world. It's a dream world. I'm not expecting this to be a reality, by the way. It's just my idea. But I think overall, it's just at the end of the day, it's just what we need to do to go ahead and win things, TJ. It's the harsh reality. But unfortunately, people can't see that because they're too invested in loving these players. At the end of the day, if we were the Invincibles or the 90s or the 80s and we had proper players that deserved this amount of respect, I'd get you. And I'd be like, Connor, what the hell are you talking about? Why are you disrespecting these lot? But these players deserve to be criticised. They do. And especially after, I'm not over that Newcastle 2-leg. They should have fucking walked home.
I'm telling you, I think social media ruined this club. I'm telling you.
I mean, yeah, listen, as much as I was Wenger out, that goal kicked it off, didn't it, really?
Yeah, it did. It did. And look,
this isn't a bad thing, TJ, what we've got, but yeah. No.
Well, no, it's not a bad thing, and things could certainly be worse. We could be Spurs, Yeah, people are saying, "Oh yeah, Johan Lang." Yeah, I don't really want to be relegated, Charlie. So you can hang on to him. But my biggest problem is that the club is too malleable, and listen to social media far too much. And I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy when you go out there and you back mediocrity like this and you say, oh yeah, no, Odegaard is a fantastic, I get behind him because he loves Arsenal so much. He's in love with Arsenal. He sings North London forever under his breath every single time he's at the Emirates, all this bullshit. But when at the end of the day, when the results do not match the ambition of the club, then changes need to be happened. And if the ambition of the club is to finish top 4 every season and go out of the Champions League in the round of 16, fucking do me a favor. Go fuck yourself.
Why would you even be an Arsenal fan? If that is what you expect,
dude, that's what these people are gonna say. Look at the narrative now, Connor. Sorry to interrupt you. The narrative now is gonna be we're in a top 4 race and we need to hang on to top 4, top 5, whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah,
that is going to be the narrative moving forward, and that. At the beginning of the season, I think for half of these people that are going to be peddling that bullshit was unthinkable. That's my problem. When you and I were sitting on panels, I was sitting on Mo's channel saying, you know what, Mo, it is a very, very real possibility that we could drop out of the top 4. And that was before these injuries happened.
Yep.
So now the narrative is, are we going to be able to hang on? And I hate to say I told you so. I don't want to be right about this, but yeah. TJ and Connor, do you both think the season's done? I think we've made it clear that we both think the season is probably done. I think that whoever we run into in the Champions League is going to put us to the sword in the first leg.
Yeah. I think, listen, I like to think we've got decency to fucking go ahead and beat PSV or Feyenoord. But then again, 2 good sides in the Dutch league. You never know. We've got a bad history of PSV at their ground last season.
Yep.
But you never know of Arsenal. They couldn't give a shit to turn up for a semi-final 2-leg. So could they give a shit to turn up for round of 16? I don't think they could.
I just don't even even if they do give a shit, I still don't think we're going to have the legs to do it and still compete in the Champions League. We have no room to rotate. We have no room to rotate anybody up top. We are writing these final 3 pause for the rest of the season. Deep that you are going to have to watch Trossard try to start a match. You're going to have to watch Raheem Sterling do anything productive on the wing. And you're going to be watching Nwaneri try to hold it all together. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But I'll tell you what, Connor, once we get a result against Leicester, and I am expecting a result against Leicester, people are going to big this up and say, back the boys. Yeah. We got this.
We can do it without our main players.
We can do it without our main players. The way that Arteta has us set up defensively, we're going to it's going to be that.
Mikel, it's part of the process.
Oh no, I probably shouldn't have done that.
I need to get that clip as well. I've got that clip on my phone as well.
Prime, I just got clipped by Prime.
You know what we need? We both need soundboards. We need to hit up Marshall. Tell us what soundboards to get. We need to get soundboards set up. That's what we need.
No, the problem is if you give me a soundboard, I'm gonna be worse than Marshall. I'm gonna be worse.
Jesus, fucking hell, worse than Marshall. Bloody
dude, no, I'm gonna be worse. I'm gonna be way worse.
Oh, Jesus, but hey.
No, sorry. I probably I just get I get carried away sometimes.
SD hey, Flips, are you a Spurs fan by any chance? Because I know Spurs lost to Leicester this season, so maybe you are. I don't know.
I think SD Flips is the guy who's I think he's Spurs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he said he used to be the 3S. He's the same 3SS sports guy. So I think
right, fair enough. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to you, man.
Yeah, big up to you. Big up every single time. And it's just like at the end of the day, you can always count on Spurs to lose. So you can just go over and do like Tottenham away and chill, or United Spurs of America and chill, and at least they kind of see there you go.
Yeah,
and that's good
for like 2 minutes, and then it really you realize I'm a shit at my club shit again. Don't even know why I'm wearing this tonight, to be honest with you. I just like it. Screw Arsenal. I like your merch. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah. You know what? If there was a trophy, if there was a merch trophy, mate, we would win it every year. Dude, come on. That third kit this season was. I love that kit. I fucking love that kit. It's my favorite one. I'm probably gonna wear it on Sarcasm City. I'm not gonna lie. TJ, before you end, please pull up my point about the women's side of the club, because it shows the difference. Where did you put
it's up,
that?
Just up.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about the women's side of the club? Sack a manager who wasn't good enough. Was 9 trophies from a possible 17. Wasn't good enough, so got sacked. So why can't Arteta? Because they don't take the women's club serious. Like, the women's club is inconsequential to them, and the women's club doesn't generate near the amount of money that the men's club does, even if
I think
we were to be a mid-table club.
I don't think he got sacked. I think he walked as well. So no, I agree. I don't think enough energy is put into our women's team at all, actually. And I think we've got a lot of talented players. I keep up. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and advocate that I watch every women's game. I don't, but I do keep up with this. Got that scores set up on my phone, lineups and everything. Like I know our players. I think we've got.
I need to get more into that, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, we've got some real talented players. You've obviously got Beth Mead, we've got Alessia Russo. We just signed Chloe Kelly from Man City on loan. We've got some really good players in there. It comes down to the fact that I don't think we put enough energy into them. I think we need to get them the fuck out of Boreham Wood. Whenever we don't have a game, they should be playing in the Emirates. I don't know why they don't do that. And when we play them in Boreham Wood in front of about 1,000 people, I don't know why.
I'm sure the operating cost is insane. But
I mean, of course, listen, it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy job because obviously you got.
Where is Boreham Wood, by the way? Where is
it's literally down. It's down the road. It's okay. It's not down the road, but it's somewhat near the stadium. But you'd like to think that they'd elevate it a little bit. Listen, don't get me wrong. We do play games in the Emirates. They do play games there, but I do.
Yeah, the big games like the North London derbies and the Chelseas and shit. They play out there at the Emirates. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, So yeah, I mean, you're playing out in a fucking non-league stadium that looks like shit. Like it's just not. It's not good optically. And look,
I'd take a couple of the women players in our fucking team if we could do it. If they ever, I guarantee it probably will be a thing in the future. I don't know how, but if they can make the Super League, they might even make a league where you can use your men and women players in the same team. So
hey, there you go.
I wouldn't mind taking someone like McCabe in our team, or I'd love a Beth Mead at the moment. She'd be great. Alessia Russo, I'll take up front. I'll take up Alessia Russo up front at the moment. So, listen, but hey, it is what it is. I'd even take maybe Megan Fox as well. Not Megan.
Megan Fox in the 9.
What's her name?
Big up Bobby K.
Is it Megan Fox? Have I got that one right? Emily Fox.
Emily Fox. Megan Fox is
a good fullback as well. Shit. So, no, listen, but hey, no, it just shows there's a difference in what's put towards the men and the women's game, but. Either way, at least they're winning things. I mean, this season, I think we're still in the women's FA Cup. I want to say we got knocked out of the Conti Cup, I think, but we're still in that. And the league. Chelsea are killing that the women's league anyway. So classic Chelsea. But Connor's thirsty, 100%. Emily Fox, that's the one. Yeah, Emily Fox. I'll take Megan Fox over Emily Fox first choice.
I love. See, this is why Bobby K is a legend.
Yeah, same here. I agree. But yeah, anyway, beside that.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. And look, at the end of the day, like I do need to follow the women's side a little bit better. I'm a big women's sports advocate, especially out here with the KC Current. We have one of the best teams in the country out here, and I'm actually able to support them, which is pretty fucking incredible. They have a winger called Temwa Chawinga. She is the highest goal scorer in NWSL history, higher than what's her face that they got out there at Chelsea. I forget her name.
She's the Jamaican. Not sure. Oh, Sam Kerr. I thought you meant the Man City.
Sam Kerr. Yeah, Sam Kerr.
There's
She's
a Jamaican
Australian. She's Australian. Yeah, no, Sam. She broke Sam Kerr's record last season. Her sister also plays for PSG, but she's out here playing for the Kansas City Current, and she's fucking incredible. So it's just like some of these women, they deserve more of it.
America's really big for the women's league, isn't it? They're like, that's where you get a lot of the top players, don't you?
It's getting bigger.
Is that just the fact you've got good talent out there, or because we
have the best women's team in the world?
I think of course you do. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. But I think it's also the fact you do push it out a lot more, don't you, over there in terms of in schools and stuff. Playing girls in football, because I don't think it's not pushed enough over here in the UK. She was going to 25.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, Temwa Chawinga got I think she got team of the year on FC 25. But I'm just telling you, like they do push it in schools a lot more than they do on the men's side, and the women just win. That's the difference. Is that the men out here do not win. We stayed here domestically for the longest time. Yeah. Like if women's players in that were American were in the national team, they were playing in Europe. We didn't start that until like Clint Dempsey, out there at Tottenham and at Fulham. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. And we're just now catching on to be like, hey, maybe we should send the men out to play in actual top tier European leagues instead of the garbage MLS retirement league. Like, dude, I would rather go and watch an NWSL game than an MLS game any day of the fucking week, because it's just the quality is about the same. So I don't know, man. And the U.S. men's team is a fucking joke. It is. And now watch. Everybody's gassing it up because we have Pochettino. He's not going to make a fucking difference. We're going to win. We're going to win the CONCACAF, and then we're going to go out in the round of 16 of the World Cup. Not hard to predict.
I've just realized I completely forgot Sophia Smith as well. She was in the team of the FFE for this year.
Sophia Smith is a legend.
Portland Fawns, is that the team you've got?
Yeah, Portland. Yeah, she plays for Portland.
Yeah, no, you kill it over there, man.
Portland or garbage. But yeah, hold that, Dal. By the way, hold that. But yeah, anyway. All right. Well, that's our show, because I got to get over to Sarcasm City every single time. We're going to be going live with Tony Claude Gunner. Let's see what he has to gas us up about today. And my guy, Don C. Don C will be joining me for the match reaction after the Leicester City match. Connor, obviously, you are more than welcome.
I'll be there.
But Connor, you got anything you wanna plug before we end today?
Yeah, there's some big up to everyone who's been locked in. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a good show. An hour and a half just flies by, man. Honestly,
dude. No, we just get to spewing our bullshit, and then it goes by fast, doesn't it?
100%, man. And I hope everyone's enjoyed the show. People who haven't even enjoyed the show as well, because I know there'll be people out there who haven't enjoyed the show. Do smash a like anyway. I hope you.
Yeah, smash a like anyway. We don't give a fuck. Leave a negative comment. I don't care.
And of course, subscribe to your channel as well. Get this channel growing. Obviously, hopefully the combination of idiots and Waffle will progress the channel even further. And man, we'll go ahead and see what happens on Saturday. I like to get the job done. I mean, are you doing American Idiots this Friday?
We're doing it Sunday because Dal's gonna be recovering from hopefully not drowning in the Florida Keys.
Fingers crossed. But then we'll see what happens Saturday. Then fingers crossed, another player gets flipping injured out in Dubai. But yeah, man. No, it's been good to vent a bit, but it will always be the same old Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. It'll never change.
100%. Big up to the new subscribers, by the way. We are on 15. We are 1.53K, which is more than I thought I would ever get. So I really, really appreciate it. American Waffle, we're going to be live again on either Sunday or Monday. We'll keep an eye on the community page. And obviously you can catch me and Dal every Friday. and you can catch me, Dal, and whoever decides to show up for a match reaction for every single match. Until next time, go over and say TJ Warren TV raid on Sarcasm City TV and say the stars are aligning over there. TJ Warren TV, the stars are aligning. I will see you over there in a couple of minutes. Later.
You don't have the answers, DJ.
Do you have the answer?
You don't have the answers.
Tony, do you have the answer?
You don't have the answers.
You don't have the answer either.
You don't have the answer.